Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and do you want to see the results? I did run them, and I do have them. They weren't entirely unexpected, but here we go. So obviously the stub is the fastest. Rocks comes in as the fastest one again with the least amount of memory consumption. So all of it Gen 0, nothing gets past that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That makes me feel better. I'm really surprised at MOQ and PCL-Mock at just the amount of memory that MOQ does with 22,000 for doing this. It's like, wow, that's a lot actually. Same thing with PCL-Mock. And again, I can't emphasize enough how this is not to criticize these other frameworks. They work very well. In fairness, to some degree, your tests are not in production. You don't deploy your tests in the production, at least I don't. And is it arguably okay if you do these things in your test code? Well, yes, but also maybe not. And I've always said that test code should be given the same amount of care, love, and structure that your regular code does. It should be no different. And something like this just makes me go, there's probably room for some improvement. So what I'm going to do is let's commit this. So I'll say git commit. Actually, let's commit it with all these uncommented. Okay, so let's say git commit. This is in 16. Added a 2-parameter test. Let's commit all. Push. And then eventually I'll do a branch, not a branch, do a PR. Yeah, I could do a PR now, but I don't know. I just don't. But I've seen all the cool kids for a while now making a PR as soon as they make a branch, and then they just keep adding into the branch, which adds into the PR for more visibility. That's perfectly fine. I just, whatever. So this might be a very, very short episode, which I haven't done in a while. So now I've cursed it. So we're going to do 4 parameters. Okay. 4. And we are going to have a, wait. No, I didn't want that. I thought I was copying the 2-parameter one. That's what I was like, why is that saying return? Wait. Oh, God. Okay. So it was running the right thing. I just... Hold on a sec. This should be in here. That, and then all this should come out. Good thing I caught this. And then this should all be that. That's return. That's 2 parameters. This is that, except it's 4 parameters. And now we're back to sanity. Okay. I am going to rerun the tests for both 2 and 4 just to make sure I didn't, miss anything. But somehow I screwed it up, and yeah. That would not have been good. It would have just been really confusing if I didn't catch that. Okay, so 4 requires C and D and B and C, just because. So anywhere where we're saying 2 parameters, we want to say 4 parameters. Thank you. So now we want to say underscore C underscore D, and we'll copy that. And hopefully the IntelliCode will demonstrate its godlike powers in real life. It might not, because these are all different APIs and it may not be able to suss out what I'm actually trying to do. There. Okay. Does it build? It should build, and it does. Let's just make sure that I have done the right thing. Return does the return. Yes. 2 parameters does 2 parameters, and 4 parameters does 4 parameters. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the program. Let's add in 4 parameters. Okay. And we're going to comment out all this and just run 2 and 4 again. Did I capture? No, I didn't. I just got the results. I didn't. I mean, I'm like 99.99999% positive that it is actually doing. It was doing the test for 2 parameters, even though they were under return or whatever, because it was the type of this, not the name of the class file. So I think I'm good that way. So what I'm going to do is run both these. This is going to take a while. And I'll pause and we'll come back and look at the results and verify them. And then if all's well, I'll submit the PR and they'll be done. And again, this might be a very short episode. We shall see. So I will be back with the results. Got them all running, made sure everything was correct, and the results are in. They're a little surprising. This is the 2 parameter one up at the top, and then the 4 parameter one is this one. What's interesting to me is if you look at MOQ and PCL mock, if you look at the math and you double it, they're almost doubled. So like just adding 2 parameters, almost doubled their allocations, doubled the time it took to get through the method. Whereas in Substitute, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like it has any effect. Same thing with Fake It Easy. They seem to, a little bit more, but not that much. With Rocks, it does go up a little bit, but not that much either. So why, I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but it doesn't look like I don't want to say scale, but that's kind of the thought that goes through my head. So in any event, I think this is a good start. I'm going to commit this branch and make a PR, and then Steve, the person that runs the repo, can decide if like he wants to do verification with methods that were called with parameters. If that matters, maybe do more like with 8. Totally up to him. I think this at least gives a reasonable first start. So kind of nice though. I do like that it does show that calling a method that's taking arguments is, definitely has some parameter, or it does have some performance implications. So good. So that was the sidetrack. And like I said, this episode is going to be one of the rarities that is actually I'm going to cut it very short. I don't want to move on to the next stuff. We're going to update this one and do it right. But then this one is, I think what I'm going to do, I'll talk just a little bit about this again. I think what I'm going to do is just do like another console app 27 or whatever I'm up to, reference the Rocks NuGet package, and then take the generated code and put it into the actual project with it modified with my ideas that I'm talking about here. And then say, does that have any impact? Because I'll use benchmark.net just to compare the two right there. And so to do experimentation, again, this is where I think source generators actually shine, because it's, to me, far easier than going, well, what happens if I'd want to do this with something doing IL generation? Or even, what about if I wanted to do this with source generators and I wanted to change it so that I do this? You don't actually have to change the source generator. You can change the generated code by making a copy of it, doing some specific things there. And because it all gets compiled into that assembly, there's no difference in terms of where it actually was generated from. So I'm at least that's my hope, and that it gives me more abilities to try some stuff out and get an indicator as to where it's going to go. So I'm going to leave this episode on this note, and I'm looking forward to doing some future episodes with some experimentation on Rock's performance. So, thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below, and see you in the next episode.